You check your balance and it looks the same, but everything around you, rent, food, fuel, keeps rising. And at some point, you start asking yourself, if I'm doing everything right, why am I falling behind? To understand that, you have to go back. A time when the system still worked. Your grandparents believed in it. They worked hard, saved money, trusted the rules. Because back then, saving money actually meant something. It held its value. It built a future. And then everything changed. He fooled an entire generation, and you're still paying for it. Because in 1971, one man appeared on television and made a promise. Your money is safe. Your future is secure. His name was Arthur Burns, chairman of the Federal Reserve, the most powerful man in money. And here's what makes this story different. He wasn't guessing. He wasn't confused. He understood inflation better than anyone alive, which means he knew exactly what his decisions would do. Because before any of this happened, Burns had already written it down. In a confidential memo, he warned, if we print money, inflation will rise. If inflation rises, savings will be destroyed. And when savings are destroyed, the middle class will pay the price. He knew the chain reaction, cause, effect, consequence. And then he broke that chain on purpose, because at that moment the economy was slowing and printing money had a powerful effect. In the short term, it makes everything look better. Markets go up, jobs feel stable, growth looks strong, and for politicians, that's enough. Because elections don't reward long-term thinking, they reward short-term results. So Burns made a decision, not based on what was right, but on what was convenient. And that's when the system changed. The money supply expanded rapidly. More money entered the system than ever before, and when more money exists, each unit becomes less valuable, so prices rise. Not because things are worth more, but because your money is worth less. By 1980, inflation reached 14%, but that number doesn't tell the real story. The real story is this: a lifetime of savings lost its power. Not overnight, not dramatically, but quietly over time. And this is where most people misunderstand what actually happened. Because the money didn't reach everyone equally. It went to the banks first. They received the new money early, before prices increased. They used it to buy assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, at lower prices. Then, as that money spread through the economy, prices began to rise. And by the time it reached ordinary people, everything was already more expensive. So one side gained wealth early, and the other side paid for it later. This is the mechanism, not a mistake, not an accident, a system. And once you see it, you start recognizing it everywhere. Think about your life right now. Your income hasn't changed dramatically, but your expenses have. Every year, things feel tighter. Not because you're doing less, but because your money is doing less. Now imagine someone who did everything right. A man like George, factory worker, stable income, simple life, clear plan. Work hard, save money, retire peacefully. And he followed that plan. Year after year, he saved, trusted the system, believed the promise. By retirement, his savings looked strong, but something had changed. The value wasn't there anymore. The same number bought less, covered less, lasted less. So instead of resting, George kept working. Not because he failed, but because the system changed around him. And George isn't one person, he's millions. He's your parents' generation. People who saved but never felt secure. People who did everything right and still had to keep going. And if you zoom out far enough, a pattern becomes clear. Your grandparents lived in a system that worked. Your parents lived in a system that started breaking. And you You're living in a system where saving alone isn't enough anymore. Because since 1971, over $50 trillion of value has been transferred from people who save money to the financial system that receives it first. That number is hard to imagine, but its effects are easy to see. It's the reason your money feels weaker even when the number looks bigger. And the man who helped start this was never punished. He was praised, celebrated, rewarded. Because systems like this don't expose themselves, they protect themselves. And here's the most important part. This didn't end with Arthur Burns. The names changed, the language changed, but the mechanism stayed exactly the same. Money gets printed, assets get inflated, savings lose value, and the cycle continues. This isn't incompetence, it's structure. A system designed to move wealth from those who don't understand it to those who do. Your grandparents didn't see it coming. Your parents felt it, but couldn't stop it. But you're in a different position, because now you can see it clearly. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So the real question isn't what happened. The real question is, what are you gonna do now that you know?